Hey everyone, it's Jason. Welcome to another Firefly, the 10th anniversary unboxing. We've been going set by set, expansion by expansion. So that way you can see every little individual thing as its own thing, or if you decide to pick these up outside of the 10th anniversary set, what they have in them. So for today, we are going over the Still Flying expansion. So as of the time of release of this video and the 10th anniversary set coming out, this is only available in the 10th anniversary box set. Presuming the fact is they also have a 10th anniversary promo set. This will eventually come out in its own set by itself. I cannot say when for sure, how much, or guarantee that it will. But I assume it will come out at some point. But we're going to get a brand new ship, which is really cool. We're going to get some more supply cards, couple nav cards, some story cards, couple more cards for contacts for Magistrate Higgins and Lord Harlow, and 25 new Caper cards, which is the brand new thing in this. Big theme of it is we're following Saffron and her multiple identities around. Also, just to point out for this is because you notice we only got two more for some of the ones from Blue Sun and the Caldesi expansions, Harrow and Higgins. As we're getting those guys, they're kind of cool. We're getting some extra additional cards that go with those. If you're not using those expansions, you can still use some of these other cards. We'll just have to sort out which ones you can and can't use. But I also want to point out, if you have the 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition, is we get more stuff from Fanky, Mingo, and Mr. Universe, which were the other two contacts. So it kind of brings them back up to the same. But I think because they're even farther on the outside than everybody else, they kind of want to do like the closer ones in first. Cool. So what is in this Still Flying expansion? So before we hop into too much, we're going to have some new challenges, rim space jobs, some more character spam, some new capers, a new ship, which is, I believe, Monty's ship. So that'll be kind of fun to get that. Bonus job opportunities, with some of that stuff we're going to get. So this is kind of a neat thing we're going to get. Some of the jobs in here can only require being in the sector of a rival ship, reflecting the idea of crews working together to contacts like Lord Howell and Fanky and Mango Happy. You only take a work action to claim the bonus opportunity if your rival agrees to it, and they probably will because they get the bonus as well. Or discard and not transfer the other ship. So I like this as an idea. We had the Pirate expansion, which added PvP stuff. I like this as the idea of, like, all this is overall a competitive game. Having things where we can work together occasionally, because it does make for a neat idea of the game. Even if they added, like, another expansion of that, like, hey, you need to bring somebody else needs to come with you to do these missions, or jobs, would be kind of a neat little idea. Or like, hey, we have this, and you could separate, like, you need to gather things from these two locations, and you can kind of separate and meet back up. That'd be kind of a neat little concept as well. Then we have the brand new Capers deck. I'm not going to get into too much of this right now. We'll look at more when we get into the cards. But first of all, they're not a contact. So anything that refers to contact, they look kind of like contact cards. They have a lot of similar stuff to them, but they don't include any of that stuff. They can't become solid with Saffron. But these are going to get special things. So first of all, to deal with them, just say requires Deceptive to deal. So you have to find a Deceptive crew member, which are any of Saffron's types. As some new job types, as their new reshuffle decks, you actually reshuffle these instead of occasionally. Working capers works just like working a job. So you choose to work a caper. Saffron's always working on an angle. Each paylover caper is unique. Each job has a base page. It can change based off the suits of misbehaviors. You proceed past the card falls right, you can score a huge payday. If not, you could be left twisting in the wind. If you're feeling really daring, you can attach Mystery Universe big damn challenges to the capers. Make them even harder. Also, some are tied specifically to her aliases. If the Deceptive crew leaves your ship for any reason, immediately discard any active capers. So if you don't have a Deceptive crew, you can't do it. If you're in the middle, you can go ahead and finish that. So one other thing with the Deceptive crew, as we saw before with Saffron, is if you hired if you hired one, the original one said if you hired one of the other versions of her, you had to discard another one. So, like, if I have Saffron, someone else picks up a Bridget somewhere else, I have to discard my Saffron. I can't have both of them in play. They've adjusted it to just be calling them deceptive for all of them, so you can only have one deceptive crew in each thing. So this could definitely make it interesting. You could be in the middle of trying to do a job, and somebody else could hire one of the other versions, and you have to discard yours, and it would mess up all your plans. It's kind of her running away from the job. Another cool thing we're getting in this set are shuttles. These are ship upgrades, which will let you do extra stuff. Most shuttles earn you extra money by either offering you more options to make work or by providing dedicated workspaces to let you double down on professions for a particular profession. Also, they can grant you extra space for more crew and stuff like that. Shuttles are not for everyone. They cost more coin than many captains and may be willing to part with. Also represent temptation of unhappy crew members looking for a way out. So if a crew jumps ship for whatever reason, if a job tells you to jump ship, or if you just scrunkle them up, they jump ship, they have a chance of roll a dice equal to or lower than the total number of crew leaving. Discard one ship upgrade to shuttle keyword. So you might possibly lose your shuttle if your crew leaves. So spending a lot of money and then having someone leave your ship with it could be bad. They do have work actions though. Let you take a work action adjacent sector if you're limited to what you can carry, so plan wisely. You can only load or deliver goods, passengers, or fugitives. So you can't put some stuff on there. Usually a max of 2 spaces. Cannot benefit for other ship upgrades and can use no more than 4 crew. But it's kind of neat to let you do it. It doesn't give you an extra action, just lets you doing, lets you go outside your space. You could be like 1 space away from a sector, not have to spend a move action to get next to it. They ignore alert tokens, but you can now use a work action to move into a Reaver or Alliance ship, So cool, we're going to go ahead and hop into these. We're going to look at our new ship first. We're going to look at the Restless Soul. I gotta back my camera up, it looks like. Alright, so a normal Firefly has 8 spots. This one has 9 in its cargo hold. So it gets 1 extra cargo hold, but it has 1 less stash. So it ends up having the same amount overall. Just kind of varied a little bit differently in how it works. Alright. Yeah. So we still have 9 and 9. So it doesn't differ to it. It has 3 jobs, has 7 crew, so it gets extra crew member over a regular Firefly. So it does give it some extra different stuff there. It only has 2 slots instead of 3. But it does have a special ability, like all the other ships. So they kind of have a little bit different than the Firefly, but they get their own unique abilities. Contraband your stash may not be seized by the Alliance. So because it's such a bigger ship, they can't find your stuff as well. So that's kind of cool. So if you want to play this, I love these new ships because with this there's it ends up making, besides the upgraded, there's 4 regular Fireflies, there's 2 upgraded Fireflies which play a little bit differently. There were 2 other ones in the Pirate expansion which play vastly differently, using the kind of pirates and bounty rules a little bit more, but they're still pretty cool. And then this one, so it does give you a total of 5 other ships other than the initial 5 Firefly. Yeah, because there was 4 regular ones and then Artful Dodger, which is a little bit differently. So you have 4 regular ones, 1 slightly modified one, 2 upgraded ones. But you do get a bunch of different options. So you can actually play this entire game without using any of the base Firefly at this point, which is really cool. There's actually our ship there. So this is the 10th anniversary one. I don't know if they released this in the a separate expansion, if it's going to be painted like this, or if they're just going to have it be the solid, like, bright colored plastic that the ones came in the other base sets. And they might do that just so it fits all the other ones. But then we do have a special core drive, which can only be used for a ship. It says the Ulling Arrow F, Model F. Unique core may not be replaced. So like the other non-Firefly ships, it can only be used on this ship. You can't swap them out. But it has a range of 5. May spend 1 fuel to full burn. May mosey up to 2 sectors. So this will let you mosey a lot more. Which can be very helpful if you want to do that. Instead of 1 sector. So you can mosey across a little bit better. So it does play it a little bit differently. Which is really cool. Alright, we're going to throw that to the side. We're going to jump into our story cards. We get no new setup cards in here, but we do get some new story cards. We have a rare specimen indeed. No starting jobs are dealt. Each player begins game with 1 taper. Any player who is solid badger may use a detailed deal action at Persephone to deal with the taper's deck. Earn a gold token every time you complete a taper. So this is a way to let you use the tapers without having to have a deceptive crew member. So I think this is kind of a way around it if you don't want to have to deal with that. Any player with 3 gold tokens at Persephone may use 1 action to send out invites. All other players take 1 more turn, then end the game. Players sent out the invite does not go again. Interesting. After getting their final turn, all players gather total credits at 2,000 per gold token. Highest total credits wins, and at least 1 gold token wins. So that's kind of interesting. So you can technically have the most money, but if you haven't bothered to earn any gold, you haven't bothered to complete at least 1 taper, you still could lose the game. So that's kind of cool. Then the next 2 we have are, we have the Rum Runner special, which has a little top up there, shows the Blue Sun and Caldesia expansion symbols. So you have to have them to play it. So again, if you want the 10th anniversary, not going to be an issue. If this ends up coming out separately, you could buy this just to add into the core set if you want. You just have to not be able to play these ones then. Their reputation must be solid with Amangel and Lord Hollow to work this goal. Warrants received while working do not cost loss a solid rep. Complete a smuggling job that begins or ends in a line space to complete a goal. And you can do a special goal, get the goods, and then get to the finish. So this goes back to completing goal 1, 2, and 3 in a row to try and win the game by doing the last one. Cool. That's kind of neat. It goes back to sort of like how lots of the originals, lots of the new stories for all the expansions have all these extra special rules and this and that, doing this. This kind of just goes back to, again, doing the 1, 2, and 3. And then we have another one. Uses both expansions as well. The Smuggly Bustle. Placing a Alliance alert token every planetary sector in this space. Ready for the big leagues. Must be started with Harrow and Magistrate Higgins. Load them up. Complete at least 1 taper. And then drop them off. Cool. So again, just some extra. Goes kind of back to like the core stories, but it's using the expansions to do stuff there. That's really neat. Alright. We are going to hop into our supply cards. So we're going to start with Silverhold Munitions here. So we're going to start with Saffron. So, if you remember the base game, we already have Saffron. This is just going to replace her card. So again, it switches it up. You know, it says Grifter and Companion, but it has Deceptive tag on there. And then Deceptive, you know, instead of before it said if you have... Oop, there goes my camera. Said, I believe it said if you have Bridget and Yolanda, you have to discard... remove her from play, so you can only have 1 at a time. So if you find the other one, you get rid of the old identity, essentially, so you can have 1 identity at a time. Now they just changed it to Deceptive Crew, so that way they can add more versions of her than just the 2 of them. This is pretty cool that we get this. It also does say, again, just as a note here, so if we get a Tapers card, which you're going to be using, it says, she can't be trusted. When a Deceptive Crew would be removed from play, shuffle them back into the supply deck instead. So if you're using the Capers, it actually overrides that Deceptive ability. Instead of removing from play, you shuffle them back in, so you could refine Saffron's identity again later on. We have Cook, Good Dog's Cook. This guy's cooking some dogs, some hill folk. Live like real people. When you pass the dinosaur, the first player talking, made a room but disgruntled from a crew. And then have some haulers, some more hill folk. Many hands light work. During salvage op brutal, any test results of 1. Just fun. We also get some more hill folk to add to some of our other bonuses. And their item is Saffron's lipstick, which we remember how dangerous that was. Discard and use a deal action to deal with a Capers deck, or discard when you draw a misbehaved card to rename the suit. So interesting. I don't know how well this will work for the most part, outside of using the Capers deck, because the bottom one, there are a couple of cards that do reference to suits here and there, but overall, I don't know if it would make a big difference. Alright, up next we have Persephone. And we're going to start with our Canine Culinarians. We're going to get some more cooks that have lived like real people, so the same exact effect, but this one's on a mutter. We have some fresh produce, discard. To count as a cargo or a contraband. And then we have a standard shuttle. So there's a ship upgrade, has 2 cargo holds, transport, and a shuttle. Spend 1 fuel to take a work action in an adjacent sector. Max crew of 4, may make work for 400. Which are cool. This lets you do some extra stuff there. It's just a standard shuttle. Just gets you extra cargo space. Maybe that's what you really need. Which is really fun. Alright, up next we have the Space Bazaar. So we're going to get another Deceptive. This is a new one. We have Blondie. So we didn't have her in the original. I think this is the one we originally pick up. Before she decides she's Saffron, has an alternate identity. We also get Red, who has a mother and soldier on the double. When you load goods on your job, you may evade. Cool. And then we have another ship upgrade. We have the Scrapper Shuttle. Shuttle and transport after successful salvage op, you may evade. Mechanic bonuses are doubled. Max 1 to crew. So it doesn't give you as much space as the other one, but it does give you some extra bonuses, which is really fun. Our next one up, which we have Regina, which is going to give us Bridget. She's having an updated version of her. We have some haulers, which you've seen before. We have a smuggler shuttle, which you've already seen. Well, no, we haven't. What was the other one called? Scrapper shuttle? What was the first one called? I can't find it because I'm looking for it in a stack of like 10 cards. A standard shuttle. Scrapper shuttle, and this is a smuggler. So this gives you 2 extra stash instead of cargo. Grifter bonuses are doubled, so that's fun. And then we also get a fast burn rocket shuttle. Should be 2 more cargo holds, spend 1 fuel to take work in an additional sector. And soldier bonuses are doubled. So we're going to get, some give more crews, some give more bonuses for that. So that's pretty cool. We are going to go to Osiris Shipwork. Which will give us Yolanda. So another one of our Saffron variants. We're going to get some more upgrades, of course, because Osiris loves our upgrades. We have Surveyor Shuttle. Once per fly action, you may discard and redraw a nav card. You may not discard the reshuffle nav card. +1 to max crew. We can get Anara Shuttle. Companion bonuses are doubled. +1 to max crew. Or we can get the Doctor Shuttle. +2 to medical checks. Medical bonuses are doubled. +1 to max crew. This is kind of fun. You want to add, some of these get extra cargo or extra holding space for stuff. Some are going to give you, they can then hold extra crew to do extra missions. Other ones here are going to let you just bonus to your max crew and give you extra bonuses on your cards. So you get a bunch of different stuff there. Then for some of the expansions, we have Beaumont. So in Beaumont, we are going to find Elizabeth. Which is the one, this was her persona when they went to do the heist in the for the old gun, and then the other guy's like, I've been waiting for you to come back. So that's cool there. We get encrypted data pad. Discard and use a deal action to deal with caper decks. And we have another standard shuttle, so we get an extra one of those. And then we're going to Meridian, or Meridian, I keep probably saying that wrong. And we're going to get Princess, our last one of her. So we get one more of her. And I think they all have double, do they all have the, yeah, double negotiating and one tech. So they all have the exact same stats for all of them, which is really cool. They just have, different names. Mysterious Crate. Discard and use a deal action to deal with caper decks. And Mysterious Meals. Discard a count as one cargo, or discard when you draw Misbehave to rename the card suit. Cool. So those are all of our new supply decks. Let's hop into our contacts. We have Lord Harrow. Everything stays the same for him. He's from, of course, the Blue Sun expansion. So at the bottom here, it's going to show your different stuff. So if you want to use him, you have to have both Blue Sun and Caldesia. So if you're not playing with both of those, you're only playing with just Blue Sun, for example, don't use him because he requires the Caldesia expansion as well. Obviously, again, if you have the 10th anniversary, you have the maps, you have both. So you could probably, so that doesn't matter as much if you're using the decks or not. You just need to be able to get to Caldesia. So this has the one of the bonus drop-offs. So a little honest smuggling with a rival ship. Deliver one cargo. Both ships get the bonus. You get 2 extra contraband. Cool. Pick up this leg of the run. 2 ships like ours. And then we're going to get some other ones here. So Angelic Rocks, picking up stuff from the Ouroboros belt. And we have Heavenly Rocks. And both of these are kind of fun because they're the heavy load. Which the Restless Soul... No, never mind. I was thinking... No, that's the other ship. One of the other expansion ships has a thing where it can ignore heavy loads. That's actually kind of fun. We get more of those. Cool. And then we have Magistrate Higgins, who's in Red Sun, but he's part of the Caldesia expansion. So we'll have some of those as well. So Mudrun, Dragon's Egg. Mudrun, Vimbrena. So this one doesn't have Blue Sun on there, so you don't, because you don't have to go all the way to Blue Sun, you're just going to Caldesia. So some can use both, some don't. Then we have Mutter's Grab Deadwood, which again uses all the expansions. Mutter's Grab New Canyon. And then we have Mud Pipeline Polorium. Cool. We're going to get all those. Then we're going to look at our capers. So these are our new saffron capers. So we already seen the backs of those. So let's just go ahead and hop into this. So a better hand of cards. So you got a target caper, you're going to go to Santo in the Queen Shi Hong. Misbehave, then try your luck. You pay 2,000 minus 500 per every heart you proceed to pass. So this is kind of interesting because if the 2 cards each of the misbehaved cards pass match, take 2,000. If 3 match, take 3,000. If 4 match, take 4,000. So we're trying to see if they match to get them. So you might not. So it's kind of a gamble. Just kind of an interesting thing to play, right? And if you have Saffron, you'll get an extra 500. But yeah, you don't know what you're going to get. For every time they match, you're going to get a bigger bonus if you pass them. And then they're also going to get less. So there's also a couple of cards we have throughout the games that let us look at them and reshuffle. And sometimes it's the difficulty thing. This might even just be for the suites and stuff. But I love that they're also playing with the card aspect of these. Check on the misbehave again. They have the suits. I love that we're having more things that deal with that. Kind of justifies having those in there. You screwed that royal. So I'm not going to read through all of these, but we get some different stuff like treat yourself. If you roll that, you can load some extra cargo. Write your own prescription. Some jobs are immoral, some aren't. Tough nut to crack. The Lassiter. The Distant Dynasties Heist. The Cursed Treasure of the Frisco. That buys you nothing. Stealing a man's beard. Heh. Oh, that's funny. Something's not pretty. So glamorous and strange. Night, sweetie. If I had everything. I'd forgotten his name. I could be useful on a ranch. Good myth. Good Bible. Completely off your nut. Armored coach robbery. All naked and articulate. A special hell. A psychotic brushing bride. A fortune on a gold platter. A few choice fish. And then the last one is the tweaked one, which you immediately have to resolve. Deceptive Crypt does not jump continue to deal action. So she humped us hard or you don't play a player. So yeah, you might have to decide reshuffles that deck, adds all them back in there, and then possibly if you might jump the ship, you might have to get rid of your stuff. Interesting. So this is really cool. It's a neat idea. I also like the fact that it has lots of phrases and names of things, plus all the little text on some of the cards reference more stuff from the show, and different things. Also kind of interesting to be like, oh, she didn't just do these 5 capers that we kind of saw where we mixed it. She's done 20 different ones. She's been around a long time. It's kind of interesting. It adds to that. She's been doing this a lot longer than you think she has. Cool. Again, you can always opt to not play with those. Then we have our new A Misbehave cards. So we're going to add some more to go with that. Just add these into the deck. So we're going to have Treasure Hunt. X marks the spot. We ain't chasing no mirages. Get your hands dirty. You get some of them, certain aspects of her that'll help you pass these quicker. Chuck it in the garage. Or chuck it in the garbage. Yep, that went well. Local emergency. Some of these also require the shuttle, so it's stuff that have to be obviously used with this expansion. So they do have, I don't think they actually have the expansion symbol on here, which I don't like. I wish they would put that on there so you can know to pull these out if you're not using these, because if you don't have these cards, you don't get. But I think the idea is there's no reason not to shuffle all of these basic cards into the main deck. Guard dogs. Tussle with Sasquatch. Long Lost Lover. Bounty Hunters. Femme Fatale. Did you really make fresh bail? And then can't get it from here. Can't get there from here. Learn how to read. So it's kind of cool. So we got those. Then we're also going to get some new nav cards to add in. So we're going to get some new Alliance Space cards. We're going to have Blowing Catalyzer. Again, some of these are going to require some of the new cards from the set. Dead in the Water, or I Know Where to Look. This requires a shuttle. Wu Sun's Emporium Shop. Need to resupply and rare ingredients. This requires some of the cooks to do option 2. Again, I always like these because they have the options. If you don't have the new stuff, you can always do the old ones. Fire in the Galley. Put a lid on it and don't use water on that. Rough Seas Ahead. Pull it together and fall apart. And Why Do I Have a Wife? How drunk was I last night? You, sir, are a newlywed. That's awesome. If you have a space in there, take a deceptive card. That's cool. And then for border space, the yellow ones, we're gonna have we're in space. How did she get in here? She hid. I don't recall pulling over. Troubled waters, quick fix, and we can work it out. Shopping trip, not worth my time. Secret herbs and spices. The Devil Woman, crisis averted, and it was only a matter of time. And a nothing part until you don't have it. Some cobbling together and scrounge for parts. And then finally, we have some for the rim space for using the expansions. A Ping in the Black, it's just that, send out a scout. Life support and aiming on, all wanting to breathe, the shuttle's got heat and air. Mutiny on the Bounty, just a little stress and mutiny. Seriously, you gotta give me a ride. I don't trust her, she won't make trouble. And then finally, soup's on. Hey, free soup, or kitchen's closed. Yes, this is really a cool expansion. An extra ship is always nice to get. Some new misbehaving cards, some new crew members, new shuttles are really cool. So, this would definitely be a thing if, eventually hoping this comes out by its own expansion. If you have just the core set, this could be another one, kind of like Breaking Atmo, where you could pick up and it's just going to add a little bit of extra stuff to the game if you don't want to have the full 2 expansions of Blue Sun and Caldesia, which add a ton of new areas to go to, new gameplay. You could, there's some stuff in here again requires that, so you wouldn't get full access to all of the stuff in here. But again, it would give you the option of hey, here's some new stuff you just add to the game. Unlike the Pirates and Bounties, it's not adding necessarily a versus aspect. But yeah, it's a neat little expansion, adding, again, more lore and Easter eggs, I guess, kind of thing to the game, which is always really fun to do. Cool. So that's what we have for this expansion, the Still Flying expansion for the Firefly 10th anniversary. If you guys are enjoying the videos, check out the ones you haven't. Also, hit me up in the comments. See you guys later. Bye.